Hello everyone. Today we are going to see what is the local variable and what is the global variable. Okay. So as the definition is given here, local variable is a variable that is declared inside a function or a block of code. It is only accessible within the function or block of code when it is where it is declared. Okay. So this is the definition of the local variable. Now let's see what is a global variable. A global variable is a variable that is declared outside any function or block and can be accessed from anywhere in the code. It has a global scope, meaning that it is visible and accessible to all functions, classes, or modules in the program. Okay, so from definition, what we can understand is a local variable is a variable that is declared inside any function or a block of code, and that is only accessible within that function or block of code. Okay, so let's see this how this works by the example. So let's create a function or def my function, and then I will just create a local variable first. Uh, let's call it as myvar equals to 10, and I will just try the simple print statement of that. Let's try to print myvar. Okay, so our function is ready. So let's run this. It's taking a little bit time because the kernel is not connected yet. Okay, so we have defined a function, which is my function. Inside that, we have created a local variable that is called as my underscore var is equal to 10. Okay, and then after I'm just trying to print that my underscore var variable. Okay, so this function is ready. So let's call the function my function. Okay, so let's see what we get. Okay, so I got the 10 as a value, which is coming from my underscore var variable. Okay, so what I mean is here, I have created this variable inside this function. Okay, this inside the function or this code block of this function, I have created this variable. Okay, so that's why this type of variable is called as local variable. So this myvar variable is nothing but our local variable. Okay, because this variable is created inside this function, so that's why it is called as local variable. Okay, and the another thing is that we can't access this my variable outside this function. Okay, it's not accessible. So let's prove that. Let me just call that variable outside this function. So I will just try to print my underscore var, and let me see what I get. So I got an error. What is that error? It's telling me name error, name myvar is not defined. Okay, it's telling me that there is nothing like myvar which is defined yet. Okay, so why this is happening, right? So the thing is that why this is happening, because if you see this myvar is created inside a function, I'm trying to call it outside the function. Okay, so as this variable is created inside the function, so it is called as local variable. Okay, and as the definition is given and the description is given above, it can be only accessed within the function. Okay, it cannot be accessed outside the function. Okay, so this is what is about your local variable. Now let's see the another type of variable, that is global variable. Okay, so global variable, again I will just read the definition. A global variable is a variable that is declared outside any function or a block and can be accessed from anywhere in the code. and it has a global scope, meaning that it is a visible and accessible to all functions, classes, or modules in the program. Okay, that means the variables which are present in the global scope can be accessed by any of its parent element, any of the elements inside that particular program. Okay, what I mean is, suppose there are some of the functions, some classes, any loop is there. Okay, so any of this can access the that particular variable which is present in the global variable. Okay, so let's see that example as well. Suppose I create a variable. Suppose I create a variable x is equal to, I just give any name like DataMites. Okay, I've just created a variable whose value is DataMites. Okay, then let's do one thing. Let's create a function again. F my function one and colon. So what I will try, what I will do here, I will just write print x. I'm just calling that x which is present in the global scope. Okay, I'm just calling that global variable into my local scope that is inside my function. I'm just calling that x which is a global variable inside my function. Okay, and let's run this. Okay, so my function is ready. So let's call that function as well. My fun one, and let's call it. Okay, so as I can see, this DataMites, which is stored inside this variable x, I could access inside my function. Okay, I could access that variable inside my function. Okay, so the important thing here to notice is that x is present outside that function. It is not inside the function. Okay, but still I am able to access it. Okay, if that was not present in the outside the global like outside the function, right? If that was not there outside the my main function, right? So what was going to happen? It was most likely to throw me error. Okay, because if I don't declare any variable. Okay, okay, so I think this is the concept about the global variable. Okay, because the variable which is created is present in the Python code. Okay, Python code body. Okay, so that's why this x is nothing but your global variable. Okay, now this x can be accessed by any of your functions inside your code. Okay, any function, any class can access this x variable. Okay, because this is a global variable. Let me just write it here. It's global variable. Okay, all right. Uh, okay, after this, let me just take another example to clear this. Suppose if I create a function, let me copy this one again. Okay, okay. I have just copied, and let me just create one more local variable. Okay, inside this function. So, uh, suppose the variable name is y is equal to 15. Okay, okay, so I have created both, like global variable as well as local variable. Okay, so we will see how can I access the global variable and local variable. Okay, so let me just do one thing. Let me try to print x, and as well as I will try to print y. Okay, outside the function. Okay, I'm just trying to print this x and y outside the function using two different print functions. Okay, and let me just run this. So as I can see, I got the output for this print x, right? This DataMites is coming. But for the print y, it's throwing me error. Why it's throwing me error? It's telling me name error name y is not defined. Why this is happening? Because if you see this y is present inside the function, that means this is the local variable, and local variable cannot be accessed outside that particular function, right? So that is what we have just given above in the description of this local scope, local variable and global variable. Okay. I think the concept is clear now. Thank you.